I think one of the good things is splitting the threats here. Do you see how I'm kind of like splitting the threats? Ooh, this seems good for me, right? Oh, no. I think this is, oh, really bad. Ah, yeah. So all of a sudden, before you know it, the fact that I'm a ranged hero matters a lot, right? The fact that, oh, bash, lucky. But I have all these units getting the ranged in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Nick Oldhead video. And today we're going to be going over a slew of games that are just, honestly, it's a little bit of a mixed bag today. We are thankful for the holidays, thankful for the new year, right? 2025 was just filled with ups and downs. But for this channel, mostly ups, right? We're really happy to report. I think we're at 501 subscribers right now. So hooray, right? We had our little goal was met, and now that means we get to play more Warcraft 3. But it's more like we have to play more Warcraft 3. I don't know about you guys, but you know, ladder anxiety is real. Sometimes when you're really grinding for those W3 Champions MMR points, it's hard to let them go or even risk them to begin with. But let's just get back to the game, or let's look into it. We see it's a orc versus human, and the human opponent is going Mountain King. So that I think that's kind of favorable for me going Farseer. Now, it is nice when the opponent goes Mountain King and you go Blade Master, especially Windwalker, because then you can just kind of really take advantage of this creeping that needs to happen for the Mountain King, and maybe even get an item steal. But you see now my opponent is being very, very cautious in terms of like don't want to get stolen by a Blade Master. So you're probably trying to do that quick Stormbolt. I wonder what item they're gonna get, right? So they get the Gloves of Haste, and me, before I go over, I also get a little creep done. So I think sometimes I like to go this little half bet here, because I know I'm going to go over to my human opponent, because I need to do something. I'm orc. But during this time, I'm going to at least get some creeping on. And I see, hey, if you're going to leave me here, I might as well get this one too. Farseer can creep this medium armor turtle pretty quick. So don't mind if I do get the 2 items, and this will be a quick level 2. So, I think this is usually a pretty good idea if the human opponent's going to expand, because look, even if you're now going to attack, you have Chain Lightning, which I found is really good when attacking into some like a militia peasants who have low HP because they've been creeping, when I have Chain Lightning. But let's get into the real life scenario here. This is kind of what this game is about. Look at the Chain Lightning immediately getting the damage in, and let's just, ooh, bash. Nice bash. So that Headhunter was really, really stunned, and my opponent here is going to get full bash value. If they get a bash there, that would have been good for them, but I put my Headhunter here just in case. But yeah, you're not going to get us around with 3 units. It would be important that these wolves get the kill here, so we're going to keep an eye on that footman. This seems to be another Stormbolt, yep, but nice. Doesn't go over the Farseer, just goes over the Headhunter. Does this footman live? Wow, the footman really does live, and unfortunately, my Headhunters are going bye-bye. But do you see what's happening here? Astute Warcraft 3 players may have noticed that this Mountain King is blowing all of their Stormbolts, and they're still kind of getting auto-attacked by me. So this is kind of, not where you want to be as the Mountain King player, because you're not getting any creeping done, and just look at all the stray damage you're taking. Okay, long-range Stormbolt doesn't do anything, because this stun, you can't get another like bash in, and I'm able to just, attack. So all of a sudden, before you know it, the fact that I'm a ranged hero matters a lot, right? The fact that, bash, lucky. But I have all these units getting the ranged in. Oh, yeah. And there we have it. So, could have TP'd. Maybe could have got lucky on bash. But it does kind of go to show how, at the end of the day, if I wasn't, I suppose, a little more confident in the fact that I can push my hero to its limits, like even in this scenario, knowing you can push your hero to its limits, there's no other hero here. It's funny, could my opponent get the buyback? Is that what they're trying to do right now? Are they trying to get the buyback? I mean, they could, just not fast enough. You could still get the buyback. No, my opponent just leaves the game. So, interesting. I guess their tech was already so late. Look at that. Yeah, their tech was already so late. It hadn't got an expansion happening. Pretty much, I set them off kilter, and then with the hero kill, that was it. So some fun micro there. I mean, let's just pretend I don't get bashed. Right? Let's just pretend I don't get bashed there. That would have been bad. Alrighty. Looks like Okay, so the next game up in the assignment here is a random player. Now, can you guess based on just looking at the mini-map what my opponent is? They're random. They're mannered. It's a night elf, right? So you probably could have guessed. Why else would you build a big building that is so visible on the mini-map? It's night elf. So night elf goes for this creeping pattern we've seen many times. And because they're random, they get to escape the barracks first. Firelord Rush, right? So, wow, the most despicable Night Elf, the one that tricks me into playing Farseer. So this is why Night Elf can have a really strong advantage when you go random, because how do I know that I'm playing Farseer into Demon Hunter? I don't. You know, I could be playing Farseer into Death Knight. I could be playing, you know, Farseer into a Farseer Mirror, and I'm trying to not get Headhunter Rush. So thus is the strength of random, that I'm just going Farseer Grunts, as many orcs do when the random bell tolls for thee. Now, X-Ray over here, love the name, is just getting bodied by the trolls, but you see they ate a tree before, so that tree is regenning, and nice hit there. You don't want to get stolen. And what I'm doing is, you know, you saw this earlier, I'm really keen on getting this medium armor camp killed first. You see the little micro there, just so this other wolf can survive. I get the mantle, which is nice. And I would prefer it if I just kept running over, but it looks like I'm doing some things in my base, or maybe, let's see, let's put it back on me. I'm about to tech here. Yeah, I'm waiting for my tech window, and tech, there you go. So at this point, I got a relatively normal speed orc tech. I'm going to a burrow, because who knows what I'm facing. And my opponent, you know, they're doing night elf things. They crept this camp, assisted by the Ancient of War. Now the Ancient of War is pumping on archers, and I'm kind of in a rush to kill this turtle, and it looks like, ooh, this seems good for me, right? Oh, no. I think this is, oh, really bad. Ah, yeah. So, unfortunately there, do you see this panicked micro? Not good, right? So, I not only lose the camp, but I give him the item, which I would have loved a double mantle game. But, hey, this is Warcraft 3. I'm not out. I'm just disadvantaged, so let's fight. We got grunts versus Farseer and archers. So when you're in this scenario, you're never going to kill the Demon Hunter. Just forget it. Your target is archers every time. One archer down. This grunt is now going for this archer. Don't forget this one's low HP, so I hope one of these grunts switches. Now the call here is to go get dust, which I am doing. Oh, but I accidentally attacked that, so we are now in a situation where I am trying to escape. This grunt has full HP, so it can stay here. But it's funny how I pulled this turtle, and now it's causing so much mayhem for me. So I'm in full-on survival mode. Nice hides there by my opponent. And, you know, this is Night Elf. I not only... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that. Fast forward. This is fast forward. So not only did I get mana burned, and my shop isn't even in existence, because I didn't know I was against Night Elf, but I'm trying to get some... Oh, here it is. Great. My shop comes up. So it was in existence. I get a healing salve and a clarity up. Now let's just look back on things. I'm glad I started this creeping, even though my hero wasn't there, because I really need level 2. Unfortunately, I lose a grunt here. So, I mean, wow. Talk about a game to showcase. I'm disfavored at all periods, and my opponent is even doing that greedy thing where they're creeping on my side of the map. Pretty tough. And let's look at the resources here. I got about 580 lumber. My opponent has a lot of lumber too, and they are on their way to tier 2 as well as I. But I'm a bit faster on tier 2, so now I'm about to get a tavern hero, knowing me, right? Do I get a tavern hero here? My opponent seems to like creeping with the Demon Hunter a lot, which is like, okay, fine, especially because you know you're against Farseer. That's probably what I could be doing, and my Night Elf opponent can't be afraid of a rush, because, you know, I'm going Farseer early game. Now, what do I do here, though? Let's look. Let's look at my... Let's examine my choices. So I'm trying to get as much tempo as possible. Don't like to be behind. Get a Firelord, trusted and true. I can attack the Demon Hunter a little more now. And I now need a War Mill to start, I suppose, getting more advanced tech units, or at least research. The backpack. Not that War Mill is needed for backpack, but it looks like I'm getting steel armor. I need defense, because I'm going against a bunch of piercing damage, and I'm going grunts against archer. Let's say that additional armor goes a long way, especially because heavy armor now takes reduced damage from piercing attacks. look at the... Am I going Soul Burn here? Yeah, nice. So Soul Burn helps negate some of the damage of this ridiculous Chaos Turtle. So that's fun. Instead of Lava Spawn helping out there, you just go Soul Burn. Now, part of the reason why I like to go Soul Burn as well was I don't like feeding experience. I feel like the Lava Spawns, you know, I tend to have them get killed when I'm playing, so. We got another just mass archer creeping. So my opponent, like most Night Elves... Wait, never mind. I shouldn't say like most Night Elves. My opponent is going in Ancient of Wind. So, you know, we examine these games to learn. At this point, I think my opponent had a pretty nice advantage when they were level 3, but it looks like their creeping like isn't even all that fast. Like my creeping appears to be on pace the whole time with the Farseer, and the additional Firelord pickup has just allowed me to kind of get ahead. We have a Naga here, level 1. Nice, you flip over the mantle. But I think this looks like a pillage attack, right? I probably have pillage. I'm getting a Walker here. I hope I have pillage. Have a Berserker Strength. Nice armor. So the grunts are beefy. And notice, I believe I should split up the wolves here, lest I get detonated. Oh, never mind. My opponent is going to detonate one. Anyway, nice opportunity for chain lightning. And we soul burn an archer. Did not mean to do that. Definitely meant to soul burn the demon hunter. But hey, alas, this archer is doing no damage. Now, my Firelord now has no mana. But honestly, you know, grunts are kind of doing their thing against the archer. I wouldn't say this is necessarily the best attack, but if I can kill the Naga, then we're feeling a lot better about it. Naga immediately drains all of the Moon Wells, and now the Firelord just has to live. I would say this is not a good attack. We did get the Wand of Mana Stealing out, which managed to get a Soul Burn on the Demon Hunter, and every grunt is down, ladies and gentlemen. Every grunt is down. So this is bad. If I was my opponent, I would feel... Oh, and I lose the Firelord? Wow. So, in the words of a much skilled player than me, sometimes it's best to watch the replays where you really, really lose, to really think, like, how did my opponent throw? Because let's be real, right? I should lose this game. I think my opponent should... okay, you've drained your wells and you have a low HP Demon Hunter. I think my opponent should, what? Just buy a healing potion, you have some gold, maybe run over to my base right now, and kill some burrows. But thankfully, I had this expansion up. So, you know, into the mind of the old head, we can see why I was a little go for broke. Throw everything at the... Oh, no, look, you're trying to... Oh, no, you're trying to pull in a clever way, but you get your Druid of the Talon murked. That's a dead Druid of the Talon, so yikes. And you don't even get the trick. You're missing all your shots here. So, hey, thank goodness for the difficult mechanics of Warcraft 3. Allowing comebacks in the midst. Now, during all of this, I am just trying to stay here, so I'm like kind of protecting this expansion. But thankfully, it's like I have summoned these creeps on my behalf. Really strong Demon Hunter, though. It's a good Firelord game. Speak of the devil, or speak of the Firelord, he's back. And now, yep, we get up the watchtowers. Now, after you build a watchtower, good. I was going to say, you need to have reinforced defenses on its way as well. Now, the Spirit Walkers, I like how I have 3 of them. I have scouted the dots, right? So, you don't want to get Cyclone to death. A little awkward against the Rock Golem, but don't worry. Ooh, Firebrand. So, this is probably what my opponent's thinking. Like, you know, really strong Demon Hunter. What can go wrong? And you know what? Who can blame them? I'm getting a mix of Headhunter, Spirit Walkers, Sapper. Okay. Listen. Sometimes I look back on these replays and I haven't played Warcraft 3 in a long time. And I haven't, like, just watched my replays. So I surprised myself. I didn't expect the Sapper to be a part of this army here, this ragtag crew. But there it is, you know, marching along, dutiful. The Goblin Sapper has a job here. And, you know, it kind of does. I need to ensure the effectiveness of this tempo attack. So let's see what happens. The Goblin Sapper is spirit linked. Oh, no. Not the Value Sapper. Gets a hit in, destroys the Ancient of Wind. Okay, good. The Value Sapper not only tanked a bit with Spirit Link. Now, the Farseer is almost dead, but you can scroll up Town Porter here, right? Yeah, okay. We scroll up Town Porter here and get the bait on the Naga. Get that Archer kill. Nice. The bait on the Archer, last minute Archer kill, and all of a sudden we're level 3. So, hey, Warcraft 3 is one of those funny games, right? My opponent had a window. It looked like they were really winning, but before you know it, I had an expansion dutifully defended. And my opponent's got the same idea, but you're missing a key component of this. It is actually the workers mining resources and the central Great Hall structure for your appropriate race, right? Yours would be a, tree of life. We have could be a massive strength Demon Hunter, but you know what? This is a interesting case of a no damage Demon Hunter, right? In this case, you want to be going Immolation, right? If my opponent just respecs over here and goes Immolation, this entire army's dead. But in the meanwhile, that's not what's happening. They're getting attacked again. The wolves here are doing some damage, which is great. You know, this is what summons are for, taking out real units with fake units. Oh no, one more chop would have been nice. Now my opponent's getting into micro management hell of items. I know how that feels when you want to get the perfect item set up, but like your base is getting attacked. Yep. So, you know, the Ancient of Winds are kind of denied here. This is an old school strategy. You see it here with the Tinker. But I have lots of walkers, and in comparison, my 1/1 headhunters are pretty well defended by just all of the BS I'm throwing at my opponent, including the wolves, and kind of just the Firelord. I like a Soul Burn here, which again negates the damage of this Demon Hunter completely. He's just a big glorified tank at this point. And there's a lot of mayhem here. I switch over the potion to my Firelord, and we use the Scroll of Speed because I know I'm going to have to run away. Nice micro there by my opponent. That's a 7 HP, but you don't have enough time to save that Tinker. Now, we just TP out of there by my opponent, which is like kind of panic situation, but I guess we're in a better position. Level 5 Demon Hunter, but like, what are you going to scale here? Level 3 Mana Burn? It doesn't really scale well if you're hitting it against heroes here, right? Like that might as well have been a level 2 Mana Burn. You probably want to start Mana Burning the Spirit Walkers like this one, please. I want you to Mana Burn this Ephemeral Walker for 190 mana. That'd be sick. My opponent's trying to drop some items, get the mana, but you don't have the gold, and yep, there you have it. Now you'd think this game is over, but no, my opponent, oh, look at this, the Moonwells. How tragic is this? My opponent has forgotten they had Moonwells, you know. Micro's hard. They let their Demon Hunter die, but in the comments, is this the greatest bait? Do they immediately like remember so they can get the Fork Lightning? So, you know, we're not in the Pro League MMR. We're sometimes in that MMR bracket around 1,500, where after a big fight, you're like, oh gosh, my macro. And that's one of these situations. Look at this. Oh man, look at this, look at this. Showing you my shame. I need lumber, so we get peons over here. This lumber peon needs to be over there, but I digress. We're just realizing we're like lumber stuck. This often happens. You know, orcs build expansion, they move their lumber peons over, but what did you do to replace the lumber shortage? I hope I get a shredder here, because it's really the only way. I would even go as far as to cancel this headhunter. It's funny, I have a choice here of choosing my lumber usage on a shredder, but I'm going double wyvern. I think I see value sometimes in just spending my resources so I can focus on the fight. That's definitely a way to handle macro. It's not optimal, but you know, hey, I guess I decided I didn't need the shredder. I can just get my lumber back in order with a bunch of peons in the war mill, and now I have a really diverse army. And let's just give it up for the buffed Tauren here, in which that Cyclone did nothing to, right? Look at that. That's a nice buffed Tauren. Meanwhile, how many times have we killed their Ancient of Winds? Fun little Ancient of Wind denial game. And I like my opponent's quick thinking on realizing they can go Intrude of the Talonform and kill the Wind Rider there. So, not bad. But I just have this ground army that's not accounted for. So let's fast forward this, because it's probably game. My opponent has an expansion, but it's like a little too late, as in it's not even built yet. How do you lose with this Demon Hunter? Just got no damage. Scroll of Healing there. Save some units. I mean, the True Shot Aura is nice, but this isn't like completely free. Not by any means. I mean, I don't have the Firelord or anything. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is not how you win. This is how the Demon Hunter gets level 6. You just look how little damage he has. Like that's a grunt you're trading all this HP for, and your Moonwells are drained, and look at all that HP. I can't say Periat's the best Demon Hunter item. Don't die, Spirit Walker. Please, Spirit Walker. Oh, this Spirit Walker's so dead. Oh, dead, man. When you watch these replays, sometimes it's like a slow motion train wreck. You're like, no, don't die. But let's look at the macro back home. We're just building all sorts of the best orc units at this stage. And I think this game's pretty much over. Don't even get the Berserker upgrade. Just Taurens and Wyverns versus Archers. Nice. Ooh, look at that nice level 5 Farseer. You don't see that every day. Versus the Archers, it's just so powerful. Was that level 3 Chain Lightning? Whatever it was powerful. Nice to see Taurens here just clean up. This is a really satisfying finish. Ooh, 3 Taurens. Ooh, look at the misses, though. I mean, this is where the Demon Hunter shines. Look at all of those misses. Is that... How much evasion is this? Oh, no, but now it's the Naga. You can't evade everything. But, man, my opponent's pushing it to the limit. Can't evade... I can't evade everything. Eventually, it's GG. Yep. Good G. Good G. X-Ray. Good job and good G. Alright. We got more, though. We got more games. Okay, let's restart this one. Alrighty, so let's see what we got. Looks like we're against Might Mito. And it is Durazion. Let's do this one from my perspective. Alright, let's see what we're working with. Trying to get better at my peon micro here. 4 peon micro. Sometimes it's hit, sometimes it's missed, but I think it's a good practice to always try it. Farseer has really been treating me good lately. I don't know. I know I mentioned ladder anxiety sometimes in this video, but it's real. And I think Farseer is the answer to ladder anxiety. Another Mountain King game. Jeez. Farseer provides like a safety, warm security blanket for orc players, I think, right? You can always go Farseer. You can just kind of say, you know what, forget it. I'm going Farseer. I'm having scouting. I'm getting able to harass. And actually... Shoutouts to Knopf. I've been watching Knopf play Farseer lately. I really like the way he just sends wolves into the enemy worker line. Just all the time, especially versus human. When there's a point in which the human has a bunch of priests, well, okay, good. Once the one place you don't want the wolves near the priests, so just send them near the worker line all the time. But anyways, this is going to be a good game because we're going to stick from my perspective the whole time, and I really want to just focus on what it's like to play against Mountain King as Farseer. Because, you know, we already talked about Mountain King before, but now we can really look at what the Farseer does right. I think one of the good things is splitting the threats here. Do you see how I'm kind of like splitting the threats? That caused him to walk his units and his hero all the way to the back of the base. And then I was able to respawn. So now, like, I'm just kind of wasting the time of the Mountain King. But let's be real, it's not like I can just waste their time forever. They do eventually have militia, and I'll get surrounded. So I like my decision to not have my Farseer anywhere near here, because if that happens, you just get bolt surrounded. Instead, I'm going to do some creeping of my own. So this is a kind of a tough creep camp, but I like it for the permanent item you get. Don't want to lose this Spirit Wolf here, but I like how I'm kind of like wasting his time and wasting his malicious time here. I get the Gloves of Haste, which is not really a Farseer item, but is a Blade Master and, in a way, a TC item, because TC can do some damage, you know, with Endurance Aura, and it's just the attack speed stacks up. So I'm showing once again my fondness of killing giant sea turtles and their medium armor with my wolves and grunts, but they do have a lot of armor. Let's not ignore that. The medium armor kind of offsets that. Instead, the Kobold Taskmaster is what my human opponent chooses to kill. And just look at the strength of militia here, right? So I should be teching here. Yep, I'm already teching, and I'm also getting steel melee weapons. So I see this in response to my opponent's Mountain King, and I know I'm going to be focusing the Mountain King a lot. The Mountain King is going to be a frontline hero, and I'm going grunts. So I just like getting the damage here, because then you get it with Berserker Strength, and it's like you have 2 attack upgrades. I get Boots of Speed here because I'm against the Mountain King again, and I don't want to get bolt surrounded. And I think having Boots of Speed just makes me feel a little safer against the hero. And this is really nice timing by me, right? I scout this, and I'm able to get the Chain Lightning, which is just so oppressive. You know, the Chain Lightning Wolves combo, even on a limited mana, all of a sudden these two Gloves of Haste are nice. I'm getting some Farseer attacks in at double speed. Now this Grunt does not get denied, but it's fine. I have a secondary goal here, killing this expansion and the things that created, aka Peasants. I think bad choice to go here over the Farseer. You're not going to get the kill, and maybe the Grunt could have been surrounded. But, you know, never mind. As I say this, I realize my opponent's plan is to kill my Farseer. So the TP is good, and honestly, mission accomplished, right? Killed all of these peasants, and this is something you've seen if you played human. You really shouldn't have brought militia here. I guess you didn't know I was going to TP, but these militia are not the peasants you want to be repairing this. It's going to take forever. Now, what am I trying to build here? Well, whatever it is, I can't build it. Now, I need to creep as I'm getting my item on, and my opponent, I like my opponent's Moxie. Look at this. My opponent is like, okay, whatever it is, I need to chase that Farseer again. And I get it. You got boots, you got staff, you got wards, so you drop wards near my base, and you're looking for a Farseer. You see it, you Stormbolt immediately. So that's an on-site. That's an on-site, right? My opponent has one choice. But, oh, I'm trying to get this item. What do I do here? I immediately, the Grunts intercept the Mountain King. They do have the 1 attack damage, like I was saying. I'm able to get a salve on myself, and a healing potion, and the boots to speed. So I'm no longer in threat of dying, and actually the tables have turned tremendously, because I just decided to send my Grunts on this Mountain King the whole time, and now I have boots of speed. Looks like I sold both the gloves there, like my decision. Farseer doesn't really benefit from the gloves. Ah, my opponent gets the kill, though. Frightful. But I at least get the Cloak of Shadows, which is pretty useful if you think about it. Does my opponent get the Grunt? Don't want to lose a Grunt, but I just might. Okay, so the Grunt's running for their life. And I'm trying to... Oh, no, no, don't run back. Oh, okay, it looks like I was trying to block, but no. Now, how do I kill these footmen? This is something that I need to start doing better. Not a wall off. No base layout control. Look at this. The footmen just walk away. Isn't that frustrating? It's very frustrating against human. But let's just take a look at what's happening, though. My opponent's still trying to expand. You just now teching. Might Mito, I think your macro was a little too lacking to win this game. Because as I now walking to your base, I get to do the cool thing of buy a Tavern Hero on the way to your base, right? That's definitely what I do. Yeah, buy a Tavern Hero on your way to your base. Nice little tempo. Stormbolt on the Spirit Wolf, questionable and not close to level 4, so don't need the experience too bad. Boots of Speed getting some value here. Pretty nice. This is a Lava Spawn game. No, it's a Soulburn game, so I'm just deciding to Soulburn to deny the Stormbolt, but unfortunately I don't get the hit in. So man, I don't get to cancel this. But we don't want this expansion going up. Get a peon. If I can kill the Arcane Tower, this game's got to be over, right? Wind Riders, you have one goal. The Soulburn there is nice. Gotta admit, the Soulburn allows me to really brute force this in a way that if I didn't have Soulburn, I think I would have lost a hero by now. He's trying to get the repair, but even the peons are doing work. Come on, and there you go. Once the Wyverns kill it. It's tough to see your chances of this game increase from winning. The 2 Watchtowers seal the deal. I have more Wyverns coming in. You know, Wyverns versus Mountain King has been a staple as long as this game's been around, right? You don't have an Archmage, you don't have a Water Elemental. I'm going to go Flying Orcs. Orcs that fly. Oh, nice. Get Stormbolted there, but you're just taking a lot of damage otherwise. Yeah, GG's. Alrighty, and for our last game, for the game to close us out, you know, let's do a Quicks one, right? Let's do a Quicks one. Alright, we're against a player named Quicks, and they're human, so that means we hate them, and we wish bad things for them. In terms of the priority of races we dislike, I'd say Night Elves near the top, humans at the top, Undead is pretty middle of the road. We kind of respect undeads, right? We kind of feel when we face an undead, it's like, alright, another salty sailor out in the road. And, you know, we love other orcs, obviously, right? Like, we love other orcs. That's kind of the meta there. Now, Farseer versus human, though, that's a tale as old as time itself. And we're about to see why that is, right? Because both of these heroes are adept at creeping. They're adept at summoning units that take the brunt of your damage, while then you creep for free. Now, in this video, we've seen a lot of turtles dying, and as a result, me looting items, but the Cloak of Shadows is an interesting one. It's both the worst item, because you get no stat items, and yet it's like the best item, because it just gives your hero a brand new ability, and that ability is very relevant. It's in no way bad, it's just situational. But hey, if you get yourself in the situation where it's good, you're going to be happy you got Cloak of Shadows. But let's see what my decisions are here. I see Conjurus Rex, and I see low HP Water Elemental. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to position myself to get that Water Elemental kill. You know, I don't want to lose units, but I also want to get the kill on that juicy XP. Maybe the wolves can do it. Nope, expires. Now, I also don't want to feed the wolf, so yep, you resummon wolf there. So let's see. We're still trying to go for his summons. So macro looks to be a tech situation for me, as you know. And do I get the kill? I do. And look at this, 42 experience all to me. So that's pretty important to kill water elementals. My grunt is really going. Look at that hide there. We were just talking about Cloak of Shadows value, and that was pretty nice. You know, the Cloak of Shadows just kind of caused my opponent to discombobulate a bit, and before you know it, the HP trade is good there. So love to see it. We're gonna get the Farseer being max annoyance, and you know, this is why we like Farseer. I mentioned it being a safety blanket, and it is, because no matter what you're doing, you know, the Farseer seems to be pretty useful in the early game, and the early game allows you, I think, the most impact. Like, because I'm kind of efficiently, let's see my macro here, getting some headhunters. Oh, nice, another Cloak of Shadows situation in which now my wolf can just get free damage. This is actually a really nice Cloak of Shadows situation. Ooh, this is a clutch Cloak of Shadows situation. Yep, definitely is. Getting the situational flank. The 3 unit. Oh, come on. That's a nice usage of Cloak. Can I get the kill on the Farseer? Well, I don't want this Grunt to die. Oh, no. Grunt. Okay, denied. Fine. So the wolves have a mission. Kill this Archmage. The wolves are searching, and my Farseer is trying to run away. But let's actually look at my opponent. What are they doing? The classic human. Oh, gotta build an Arcane Vault quick, because I'm getting mowed down in the early game. And actually, moderately sped tech. Not nearly as fast as Orc. Orc is probably the fastest teching race. But uh-oh, you're getting bullied by a headhunter. You don't want to see that. I think this is overall pretty good unit control by me, right? Like, multiple threats here. We're killing a peasant. We're killing an Archmage. We're level 2. The Cloak of Shadows. And what do we do now, right? We just killed my opponent's hero. Quix is like, ay, ay, ay. I gotta rebuild, remake, recover. I gotta move this. Just the movement here. And once you see the Fire Lord, the Rage Pyre, you become a Rage Pyre yourself, and you leave the game. So, hey, now it's time for you to leave the video, and I appreciate you staying for the time you did. If you like me, full stop, just subscribe, right? But if you like Warcraft 3, then you know you should play more Warcraft 3 than you do. This video is kind of me procrastinating even playing Warcraft 3, because as much as I love this game, it's hard to play, right? So, as in, it's just difficult to get in the mindset to prepare yourself for the infinite amount of scenarios that you can encounter when you hit ranked match. And yet, we love it, and yet it's that dopamine that keeps giving, right? The dopamine that keeps you mean, if you know what I mean. So, if you guys like this video, what do they say? Like, bell, subscribe, hit on those notifications. And what else can I say, right? Nope, that's it. See you guys later. Peace.